I am Brother Daniel. I am a former wrestler. I was born in a Christian family. My parents were members of a Pentecostal church called God is Good. My father was a dedicated servant in that church. I was born in a family of 8 children. I was singing in the choir of Sunday school. Sometime later I began to run the choir, but the enemy who is the thief knew that I had a call from God. But the Bible said, "Do not be deceived, bad company corrupts good character." I was influenced in evil by bad company. When I was growing up I was interested in wrestling. I joined the Olympic discipline and Greco-Roman style. Over time I started to compete in the national level. Considering that fetishism is common practice among national wrestlers, many of my opponents were in occultism. Thanks to this fact I was often losing many games. Gradually as I was practicing wrestling, a fellow wrestler and friend said to me, "If you want to be competitive and stop this trend of loss and defeat, if you want to win more competition, you're gonna have to resort to mysticism. I will have to take you to my master in the Equatorial Province, so that he can do something about it." I accepted my colleague's offer. WHO took me to his master in the Equatorial Province. When we arrived at his master place, the latter called me by my name. Despite the fact that I never met him previously, he said to me, "Vasco, your star is shining fiercely with resplendent light. Because of the intensity of your star, you shall be a great man in the spirit world." He said to me, "Vasco, you have come to me for many problems, but I know perfectly well why you came to me." This man began to tell me about the cause and motive of my visit to him before I even tell him about it. Without delay we traveled to the neighboring city, and we rented a hotel in the city not far from the Congo River. Few days later, he asked me to join him in the night at the river bank, for initiation ritual. Quickly we joined him at the river bank. We waited until midnight, which is a strategic hour for Satanic activity. When it was midnight, he got all his items and light up candles and he began to do magic prayer and formula. After reciting incantation, he took his staff that had artistic sculpture. He struck the Congo River with his staff. As a result we began to feel a strong and violent wind blowing above this majestic river. Afterward we saw something in the river moving and heading towards us. The unknown object was coming with great speed. When it got closer to us, I discovered that it was a huge serpent. Its size was mythical, similar to that of the anaconda. This demonic serpent seems mythological and legendary. When the serpent reached the river bank where we were doing ritual, immediately it opened its mouth wide opened. I was instructed by this occultic master to enter in the mouth of this serpent. I refused categorically, because I was scared, but this master insisted that I must do it. Finally I stepped in the water and I entered in the mouth of the serpent. My friend who brought me and his master also joined me inside the mouth of the serpent. In a split second we found ourselves inside a car that was moving, in a mysterious and unknown world. This happened in a twinkling of an eye. I did not know where we were and where we were going. As the car was moving in this boulevard, I noticed that this world was like shining and there was a lot of light. After moving for some time, we finally arrived before a city that was surrounded by a wall. We were outside this enclosure that was encompassing this mysterious kingdom. There was a huge gate before us that was leading in the city. When we got off the car, I noticed that the ground in this mysterious place was like elastic, but the wall and the gate of the city were in gold, and everything was built in precious stone in this surrounding. Then the master did magic prayer. As a result the golden gate of the city was opened. When we entered the city, I saw a great number of people in a place that seems like a penitentiary and correction facility. The people that I saw in this prison facility had chains on them. I asked the occultic master, "Who are these people? And why are they made captive and why are they enchained?" The charlatan say, "The captives that you see have resorted to magic and occultism for success. They sold their soul to Lucifer. During their life on the earth, these people resorted to occultism, and when they died they landed here because God could not send his angel to take them to heaven. That is why our angel went to capture them and brought them here. From the moment they signed covenant and pact with Satan, they were allocated specific cell number of these facility, and they were also sealed and stamped with the mark 666. Anyone on the earth that pay a visit to a mystic or native doctor, anyone that resort to fetishism and superstition for success or wealth, have been allocated a specific cell number and the mark 666 unknowingly. He will get on with his life not knowing he has the mark 666 and prison cell number. Then we left this place and we move on. Later I saw another prison facility that was full of people. I was told that these people were robbed during their lives on the earth, but they resorted to occultism in order to execute their robbery with efficiency. When they died, the angel of darkness captured them and brought them here. Very often we use them. We send them in mission on the earth. Considering that they were thieves and robbers, we turned them to rat and we send them to earth to attack people finance. Every time our surveillance, observation and satellite instrument indicate that someone is getting richer on the earth, in order to steal his money we turn these people into rat and we send them to steal money of people who are emerging financially. As we continue our journey in this kingdom under the Congo River, later on we saw women in jail with children on their back. I was told that these were women who aborted. When they die they get captured by our angels and they are brought here. As we were moving in this mysterious civilization, I saw a place full of children. I wondered who were these children and what were they doing here. I was told that these babies were aborted on the earth by women. The occultic master said, when women consult native doctor for abortion, the children that are aborted do not die. They are transported in the marine world and kept here. When other women visit native doctor on the earth for babies, we take these children and place them in the womb of women that are in search of babies, but these babies come to these family with precise and specific mission. They bring hardship, misfortune, and trouble where they are born. Others bring bad luck, grief and calamity to the family where they are born. They can inflict themselves sickness in order to affect the finance of the family. They can cause their father and mother to quarrel. Then I saw the prison of women who resorted to magic in order to get wealthy man to love them. I was told that they are bound to these men spiritually in covenant. Whenever their partner died they will not last on the earth, they will join them. Most of these people that I saw in these prison of the kingdom beneath the Congo River had the mark 666 on their forehead, and they had received these mark the moment they entered in covenant with demons through visit to mystic and native doctor, and they got simultaneously the number of their prison even when they were on the earth. As we continue our journey in this part of the city, we arrived in a place where there were many men. The occultic made it known to me that these were pastors that resorted to occultism, in order to have big church, money and fame. He told me, when these pastors came to us in order to have the crowds and power to perform miracle, we give it to them. In return they get the mark 666 and the prison number. Later when they died the angel of darkness capture them and bring them to prison in this kingdom. Beloved, I saw all kind of prison with all kind of people. If I had to talk about all of them it will take a long time to finish relating these things. Even people who resort to occultism for promotion in corporation and enterprise were here. My meeting with the Queen of the River Coast. As we continue to move in this kingdom beneath the river, we finally arrive before the enclosure and the gate of this mysterious advanced civilization was built in shining precious stone. The charlatan pronounced incantation. As a result the golden gate of the city was opened. When we entered this underwater metropolis, immediately I saw people who were extremely good-looking. They had angelic beauty and they were shining, but their inferior part was fish tail. Some of the inhabitant of this urban and futuristic city had snake tail. The upper part of the population of this civilization was human, but their lower part were fish and serpent. Everything in this city was built in precious stone. Yet this dimension underwater was a world similar to ours on the surface of the earth, in the sense that there were road infrastructure. There were many models of cars on their boulevards and road. Some of these cars are also on the earth. There were houses in this city that were built with precious stone. I saw airports and plane in this world. As we were observing this marine kingdom I saw a place where there was like a celebration, and these people who had fish and serpent tail were drinking human blood, which is the wine of this underwater kingdom. Since I arrive in this mysterious world I noticed that there was no day and no night, and I could not know the time. As we were visiting I thought everything was happening on the very day we entered this world, but in reality we had already spent many days in this kingdom without realizing it. but I could not feel it. Actually, I spent 2 weeks in the marine kingdom that is under the river, but I could not realize it when I was there. As we were moving in this world of siren and merman, we traveled through municipality and township of this technologically advanced world, filled with mermaid and merman. Then we finally arrived at the royal palace, before an extremely beautiful lady that had a lot of hair. She had a fish tail and she was seating on her throne. When I saw her I was full of terror. She asked me to get closer to her but I could not because of fear. She said, "Vasco, fear not, I am the one that worked and orchestrated your visit here." I was surprised how she knew my name. Before I even introduced myself to her, the siren was talking to me in my native language. Yet in this world they have their own language. They also speak all the language of the world. She said to me, "Vasco, your star is shining intensely. That is why I instructed my representative on the surface of the earth to bring you here. I know what is bothering you and what you are looking for. I will give you what you are looking for and more than what you want. I will also give you that which is in your star." Beloved, the kingdom of Siren and Merman were attracted to me because of my star, which gave them some indication of my destiny. It is written in Matthew chapter 2 verse 1, after Jesus was born in Bethlehem in Judea, during the time of King Herod, wise men from the east arrived in Jerusalem, asking, "Where is the one who has been born King of the Jews? We saw his star in the east and have come to worship him." Then Herod called the Magi secretly and learned from them the exact time the star had appeared. Brother and sister, the marine kingdom were after me because of my star that was resplendent and glittering. Then this mermaid, who was the queen and goddess of the Congo River, said to me, "I have to do your initiation ceremony." Then she asked me to stretch forth my hand, which I did. Afterwards she recited magic prayer. As a result, a goblet containing blood appeared on my hand. She then asked me to drink the blood that was in the goblet. When I drank that blood I felt like a force taking over me. She said, "This is the covenant uniting me with you." Then she said, "I am giving you a power that will be superior. I am also giving you a protector spirit. He will help you and keep you. Whatever you need you just tell him and he will inform my kingdom." Then this mermaid baptized me with a new name. When I was baptized and empowered by the Queen of the River, I noticed that my friend who brought me in this kingdom manifested jealousy. In fact, the world of darkness is divided. Servant of the devil test each other power all the time. The river water mermaid said to me, "From now on I nominate you as the representative of all the water and river kingdom in all the country of Congo." I was happy to hear this because this meant power, but when my friend heard this he was bothered. He said to the river goddess, "Your Highness, I have always been with you but you never gave me this kind of authority. He has just arrived and you gave him all these power." The queen of the river coast answered him, "The star of your friend Vasco is resplendent, and it is shining stronger and the more intense than yours. That is why I gave him that authority." Then the siren gave me a saucepan, which was actually a plane. She also gave me a pentacle of invocation. Brother and sister, many of the plane you see on the earth are not plane but coffin, plate, snake. Many of the car you see in the boulevard on earth are coffin, human and monsters. If the Lord opened your eyes to see the reality of the unseen world you will tremble. Later I became a regular visitor on this marine kingdom under our national river. I saw the siren doing incantation. As a result snake were turned to chain. These snakes were turning necklace, ring. Many of the earring, chain and ring are snakes. I am not saying all of them but a lot of them. The kingdom of darkness is working to get children of God to get Mark 666 spiritually. When you buy these things or any other things you must pray for them, otherwise you may get the mark of the beast 666, which means you belong to the devil who is working to conquer the whole humanity. Then the queen of the river instructed me to get in the saucepan. When I stepped in the saucepan, in the twinkling of an eye, I emerged on the surface of the earth and landed out of the underwater dimension. I could no longer see the saucepan, but I realized that I landed in the lower Congo province.